Hello, phone, camera, and people inside of it figuratively. My name is Chidinma Zinge. My artist name is Child in Mars, and I like to build worlds and hop around through portals, make things, combine things together to make new things, and see where I can just apply myself and really challenge myself in these times where I feel like I'm really being challenged. So I might as well rise up. And in my conquests as an artist and as someone who's just trying to make their way in the art world and my art world, I think I am learning what it is like to be in the brain of an artist because everything don't scatter. I wake up one day and I'm like, I want to do this big old thing. I want to make this big old documentary, or I want to make this big old painting, or I want to do this big immersive installation art show thing. And then I have to remember I'm 25 now and my brain is changing and I don't have the adrenaline and the drive and the fervor of fresh 19, 20-year-old me, still just like running, bouncing off the energy that I now need at least two yerba mates to get me on the same level as I was when I was, 18, 19, 20, right? Because 18, 19, 20, that was also when we were on lockdown and things were different. And I just had all this energy and I was inside. So I was really making stuff all the time, constant, nonstop. It really put me into that full time creative mode. And my tools were also limited because it was just whatever I had. The art supplies that I had sitting in my closet, or the canvases that I had laying around, or whatever I could really get my hands on in that scope of just where I was at. So I had a focus and I had the energy. And now I think I'm learning that as I get older, there is more that is just required to run the way that I need to run. I have to actually be financially literate. I can't just be like, ooh, I want this big shiny thing, or I want this big old canvas, and then just like go buy it. It's like now, well, I know I can buy it, but how can I source it first? Maybe someone has a canvas laying around. There's just processes to things now, and there's just a order of operations. But I don't know. Young me was busting out the seams. I was running an e-commerce business all by myself. I was the email marketer, designer, website manager. I was running booths at events and stuff and tabling, being a part of shows, handling when people had issues with their orders. I was on that. I was damn near everybody in the team. And, I did have help. I did lean on my community for support and maybe things that we needed from time to time. If I needed to do a group shoot, or if I needed just help with modeling something or taking pictures. But it would mostly be like, I'm locking in. Damn. Mind you, I made this. This is a product of the times. And a lot of things in my space are, honestly, I feel like I'm also living at home, parents' house. So being 25, being back in the space that I left for a while, and I'm back for many different reasons. It's just the way that my artist brain, I like to just call it artist brain, the way it was working versus how can I make this sustainable? Because I was burning out fast and just burning out from one thing, and then thinking that burnout was like me just not being interested anymore and then going to do something else. So I had all these projects that were just open ended. And if I didn't finish the project within the week, I was just not interested in it anymore. So obviously the past is the past, and I'm here now, and I'm just like putting processes and steps to operations and carrying out things in a way that feels more just like I'm flowing instead of just I'm reaching for straws. But in my reaching for straws, conquests and grabbing things and just putting things together and making it work, I learned a lot, and it kind of showed me ultimately what I really wanted to focus on. Because if I started a project and it just didn't end up as what I intended it to be, maybe it would turn into something else, or maybe I would start something as like a video project and it would just turn into a painting or whatever it may be. And there's also a lot of things that are distractions. I think the biggest one for me right now in this day and age is social media, and in the way where I'm trying to turn it into something that just works for me and not just me working for them. Well, and this is how I feel about a lot of things. Well, if you're making money off of me and you're profiting off of me and my time, well, okay, how can I be on here and do the same thing essentially, or just make this optimized for me so that it's not just a one way system? Jeez. Anyway, but that's just like my story and how I got here today. But here today I am. Here today I sit. Here today I talk in front of a camera. I got a little microphone for it attached to my shirt. And my tank top is by Eternal Return Designs. There's really cool people that make cool, comfy clothes. But anyways, yeah, I'm doing this course. It's called She Freelances, and it's a course led by a Black woman. So I signed up, and after watching many of her videos and getting a lot of her emails, because I think these days for me, I'm trying not to just jump on things that feel good initially and then just tune out after a while, which is what I feel like happens. I'm just like, oh, I want to do this. And I go in, I go so hard. I take all the notes, I do all the things. I stay up for hours trying to cram stuff. And then by day 3, somebody help me, because I didn't burn myself out. So me moving back home was to slow things down in one aspect and try to make sense of what I actually want to do to make a living. But obviously, living at home comes with other things. So every day I wake up and I'm like, ugh. But I go to my room. Granted, there's a lot of stuff going on in my room because it's really the only space that I got. But I feel like I've done pretty well with it. Just looking around. I've got a little station to paint over here, bed in a corner, and then just this workstation that I've kind of designated. So I try to section it off. You got to work with what you got so that when you get to where you're trying to get, you already know how to work with what you got. So you don't really gotta. Anyway, just been starting from scratching surfaces, playing around, researching. Because I'm like, wait, who am I? And what do I have to offer the world, and what do I have to offer myself? And what I have to offer myself right now is rest, relaxation, play, and curiosity. I feel like there are other things that we offer as humans, we offer to each other: love, care, understanding, all those things. Not saying that that's not what I'm prioritizing because it just happens by default, but I am just on a pause with so many of my interactions and relationships right now because I've been really trying to think of how am I showing up, and I feel like because there was just a lack of information on my identity and who I was and finding myself, I was kind of just passive about it. And then in turn, other people have things to say about me or thoughts they have about just like what I do. And I'm like, that's great. Sure, you said it. And just surely that is a process of just letting go. But I think a little bit of numbing and a little bit of just disassociation, because even just now, the way that I'm speaking to the camera, I'm speaking English, but that's not my home country native language, is Igbo. And my name is Chidinma, means God is good. And I didn't always go by this name. I'm just now coming to this name. I'm just now coming to just see myself for real. And in that, I'm like, wow, there's more to my story. And I really need to sit with myself and discover and uncover and learn and be curious and immerse myself in those spaces that will just activate that. So I've been in a lot of Black and queer spaces, really hanging out and spending time and listening to a lot of Black and queer voices, music, taking online courses to learn things that I'm interested in, my native language, and stuff about freelancing, because that's just what I've been calling what I've been doing. But it's never I reach out. It's always like, or for the most part, people reach out to me with ideas or things that they want me to do. And I'm like, sure, let's bring your vision to life. And I'm bringing visions to life constantly in my own way. So, of course, I can do that for you. And it's great that I've been able to be sustained even though I'm in the thick of all the knowing and learning and actualizing self. And I know that as I acquire more information about myself and as I learn more about just my history and histories that are not really told or shared, it'll just naturally start to incorporate itself into my work, and there will be just a stronger sense of knowing who I am. There are things I still fear. It's like walking into a room where nobody knows me at all and having to speak for myself. That terrifying. And it shouldn't be, but it is. And I would like to get to a point where I can stand in those rooms. And that starts from what I do in my own space, what I spend my own time doing, how I talk to myself, what kind of self talk and encouraging words I'm receiving from myself, not just people around me who will pour into me because they see what I'm outwardly sharing, but internally, how do I regulate? And how do I feel more like myself? Well, that is just getting connected to my nervous system. I've been telling myself this phrase that's like, my breath should be louder than everything else. And it should be the thing that I am harboring all of my energy into and listening to because it changes. I just found out, not I just found out, but I don't know how to swim. So that's just something that I've always had trouble with because of one reason or another. Maybe I have trauma or something. As a kid, I might have drowned once or twice, but I noticed I was in the shower the other day and I noticed, hey, I'm not really breathing in here. I feel like I'm holding my breath trying to shower because the water is pouring all on me. So I had to literally stop and observe that and start breathing. It's those little moments where you maybe rush because it's like, well, this is just like how I've always done it and doesn't feel like a problem to you because it's so small, it's so little. Oh, well, I just took a shower, but in the shower the whole time I was clenched and my feet were tight and I was breathing real shallow. And those little moments throughout the day, they build up. So yeah, I'm just trying to notice myself more. And I think that's what life is calling me to do. And not just I think, I know. Those little ways of speaking. But this is why I'm also sitting behind the camera right now, because as a camera, anybody could pull up and see this wherever I post it, wherever I share it. And there's no cuts, there's no, I can just leave or I could just turn off my phone because through texting, you can just say whatever you want. That's why I'm also just cooling off on the texting right now. And I'm like, any type of communication that just isn't direct and doesn't feel like straight on talk, let's open up a discussion about what we're interested in, what we're learning, what we're just discovering about ourselves. That's all that I'm on right now. And that's all that I can see. So, why have those avenues of indirect communication when that's just not what I'm on, right? It's asking myself those questions. So, I'm documenting my journey. This is day one, July 1st, and I am sticking to my guns and starting my passion projects for real. And also just like with my chest out, with my heart to the sky and my arms out wide, open to receiving what is meant for me. And also my best foot forward because I know who I am and what I carry, what my ancestors carry. They walk with me, gifts, what the world is gaining from my existence as a Black queer person. Oh, but yeah, I will say that it has been a very eye opening time for me. So I'm in the thick of it, figuring, moving, flowing, Figuring, moving and flowing. It's not just like I'm at a point where this is really sustainable. So if you would like to support my artistry, I do have a website and I do sell prints and I do have originals up for sale. And I do make other really cool things like puzzles. Where's my puzzle at? Yes, I solved this one time. Oh my god, I dropped a piece. It has like 5,000, no, it has like 500 pieces. and might do it again. Might teach me something about patience and resilience and doing something that is like, for example, the act of making a painting. Like, I paint so often, but painting is the repeated action, but what I get is a picture that is different every time. With this, I feel like, I am essentially putting the puzzle pieces together to make like the same picture, but maybe I don't start from the same spot, or maybe pieces don't end up connecting until the very end. I just have sections that link up, but I don't really know like how the game goes until it's put together. So, and also just something about the process is how good the pieces feel in my hands. Ooh, when I shake them, something about that. There's more intention in what I do every day, and I'm constantly thinking about the significance and the historical aspects and um, sociological perspectives about the mundane everyday things like a puzzle piece or a water bottle or a pencil or a sock. Put a sock on your feet. It's like a glove, but not really, because it doesn't really like go around each one of your toes. Toes can still hang out with each other. And I think I'm trying to make an analogy here on the spot with a sock, which is kind of hard for me right now because I'm in the mindset of art and I just started talking about a sock. But you know what I mean? Like, what I'm on, I'm looking at random stuff, but it's not really random at the end of the day. It's all part of the puzzle. And that's why you should support me as an artist on my journey. Thank you.